Attending a live performance can promote a connection with humanity in bigger ways than one could ever imagine. The theater's power of bringing people together is, in of itself, something that matters. There is a bond that forms between the performer and the viewer, an experience unmatched by any other medium. Amidst the devastating pandemic, Broadway went dark. Concerts were abolished. Any chances of seeing a live performance in 2020 became slim. To professional performing artists who thrive off of audience sentiment, the new paranormal hit extremely hard. While the show might not go on in an auditorium for some time, the show will go on alternative platforms. My guest today is Joven Calloway, a traveling Broadway performer who has garnered a different kind of fan base during quarantine. Welcome, Joven. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I am an actor, singer, dancer. I primarily do musical theater. Recently, I was in the Miss Saigon tour that closed because of COVID. But I originally got my start in theater with a show called Peter Pan. I was 14 years old. And then from there, I moved to theme parks and then cruise ships. And then when I got my equity card, I moved to New York. And the first show, big show, Broadway tour that I booked was Kathy Rigby is Peter Pan. So it was like a full circle moment for me as a child, going back to the show that I started in, but professionally this time. And then, like I said, I was in Miss Saigon most recently, which closed sadly because of the pandemic.
Sounds like you're very skilled. I hope you never got booed off stage. What was it like hearing that Broadway and other live shows were going dark?
At first it was like, is this news real? You know, with everything that's been going on. It shocked me because I just didn't believe that that could actually happen, like that Broadway could shut down. And it saddened me because, you know, being part of that community, knowing that so many people I know had nowhere to go. It was as far as work. And that was really sad. And it was also scary to think that not only were we told that Broadway was shutting down, it was work was shutting down in our field. So what were we going to do next? So it gave a lot of anxiety. And it also hurt my heart just to know that something that was an escape for me as a child, to be able to go into live theater and escape the realities of the world and just have a good time or see some tragedy, wasn't going to be available for unforeseeable future.
Speaking of going dark, how many actors does it take to change a light bulb? Only one. They don't like to share the spotlight. What was it like on your last day on the job?
What's interesting is we didn't know that our last day was our last day. So Miss Saigon was told we were actually the last Broadway equity tour that was touring the US. And we were told that we were going on a 2-week hiatus and that we would be back. And there were two camps at this point. There was the camp that thought that it was going to be the last show that day, because we were told that day, or it was the camp that was like, we'll be back in 2 weeks. With all that said, because we had gotten such small notice, everyone was frantically trying to change their flights because they didn't know where they could go. Where can we tell last minute someone that I need to stay with you for 2 weeks because people have subletted their places, or just calling their parents and like, hey, mom, dad, can I stay with you for 2 weeks? Hopefully it isn't longer. And so that was happening. And in that process, I was again in that camp that was like, everything's going to be fine. We're going to be back in 2 weeks. Unfortunately, I was wrong. And that last day, I remember I was a swing. So I happened to not be in that show. I was averaging about 3 to 4 shows a week. And that show I wasn't in. And my fellow swing said, let's just go watch the bows. And I'm so glad that he pulled me into the theater to watch the last bows, because then I got to be a part of that moment. And it was sad because I didn't know that that was the last bow that I would see.
Without access to a stage and an audience, how have you been redirecting your creativity for the past few months?
Well, at first I cried in the closet. I'm just kidding. No, I got on social media a little bit and I was feeling a little bit lost, but then I opened up TikTok and I didn't even join TikTok because you could download the app and I was just watching videos that made me laugh and made me for, distracted from what was going on around me in my personal life. And I started to think maybe I should try this. So I did it. And ever since then, my creative outlet has literally been TikTok this entire time.
Underwear check. Boxers? Briefs? Jocks? What are you wearing now? Slut.
911, what's your emergency? Hello?
Hi, hello?
Right?
Hello? Yes,
Hi.
I'm kidnapped.
Stay calm. Do you know where you are? Hello? Hello, you there? Hello?
Who's this?
It's 911.
Sorry, wrong number.
Very edgy. I like it. How have people been responding to your TikTok videos?
This is just my own insecurity, and what I have within me is that I've always been very anxious and scared to believe that people want to see Asians in entertainment. And so whenever I go into an audition, whenever I go into something, I'm always like, I hope they like me. If it's not, it's just for me. I'm going to do this for me. Hopefully, you know, I can get that one part or whatever. And it surprised me that I grew so quickly, and it made me feel like, you know, times are changing and people are getting more accepting of seeing Asian faces in mainstream. When it comes to shows, I still see a lack of Asian faces, as many Asian faces as I would like. That's actually why Miss Saigon was such a big deal to me as a child. Miss Saigon was the first show that I ever saw that had more than 2 Asian people in it. I was like, oh my gosh, there's just as many Asian people as there are white people or whatever in this show. That's why it meant so much to me, because representation matters, you know? But as far as theater goes, I still believe that Asians make up less than 5%, it might be even less than 3% of the union performers that are working.
Why do we tell actors to break a leg? Is it because every play has a cast? If your show were to open back up next week, would it be easy for you to get right back into it?
I was a swing, and what a swing is, we understudy all of the ensemble roles, and I understudied 18 roles and 26 dance tracks. I think that because I wrote such a great, we call it a swing Bible, and I wrote every single role that I did to the T where they're supposed to be on stage, I think that I could pick up relatively well. I don't think I would need a huge rehearsal, but because of the work that I put in the very beginning of the, when I first started, I feel like I would be relatively prepared to do most of the roles. So I'll give myself like an 80%.
What advice would you have for other performing artists who may feel a bit discouraged about this whole COVID situation?
I would say first and foremost that it is okay to not feel okay. Right now, just know that we are all going through something very difficult, and this is really hard. But I would say that this is also an opportunity for us to reflect on ourselves and find out who we are, whether that means you find passions in other things, or whether it means honing the craft that you are trying to be after this, if it's still theater. And so it's an opportunity for us to get closer with ourselves and with our family and friends. You know, right now there is no excuses to not call someone back or do something on the, because we really don't have anything else to do. So I say that it's a great opportunity for us all to work on our inner passions and find ourselves.
Yes, well, this whole pandemic has been rather dramatic for everyone. Thank you, Joven, for your words. Now, my friends, I must ghost you. Until next time, see ya!
What's this?
Lips.
What's this?
Branch.
No, what's this?
Wand.
James!
Tree.
No!